If you have old boxes of photos and you don't know where to start in getting them digitized, you are not alone. Digitizing photos can feel overwhelming, but it does not need to be complicated. In this video, I am going to walk you through 4 options that you can use to digitize your photos. So if you're working on organizing your photos, subscribing to this channel will give you ongoing practical help. My name is Allison Freedman, and I am a certified photo manager. That is actually a thing. My business name is Arrange Wander Focus. I'm a bit of a wanderer myself, and those are my initials. So that is why I chose it. I am based in Chicago, but I do help people worldwide to clean out and organize their digital photos, convert their videos, create photo books and slideshows, and the reason we are here today, scan their physical photos. I work with people who hand off their collections to me to handle the whole thing, but I also act as a coach to help people who would like to do it themselves, but just need a little bit of help, or they need encouragement and accountability to get them started and to get them going. One of the most common questions that I get is, what do I do with these boxes of photos that I just inherited from my parents or that have been sitting in my basement gathering dust? And I'm here to tell you that there is not one way to handle this. I'm going to talk through 4 different options that work well in different situations and discuss the pros and cons of each so that you can decide what is going to work best for you. Have you ever taken a photo of a photo with your phone? I bet that everybody watching right now, including you, has done that at least once, and they're probably still living in your digital photo library. Cleaning those out will be a topic of a different video, I am sure, but that's where I want to start today, because option 1 is using your phone to scan your photos. There are several different photo scanning apps out there. One of them that I like is PhotoMine, where you essentially just take your phone to do the scanning for you. This option can make sense if you're working with a smaller number of photos or you just want to get started right now. Another time that this might work well is if you have limited access to a group of photos or it's somebody else's house, you've got to be quick, you're getting ready to move and you realize you hadn't done anything with this yet and you're worried about putting those photos on the moving truck. All of those things might make scanning with your phone a good option. Essentially, all you need to do is put the phone on the table and press the button. After you press the button, apps like PhotoMine will do the rest. They will crop the photo for you. They will usually apply some kind of color restoration to the photo. You can also open up an album page that has multiple photos on it and press that one button, and PhotoMine will take scans of each one and crop them out as separate photos for you. You can add dates and descriptions into the app, and you can either keep them there or you can save them to your camera roll when you are done. There are many reasons why you might want to use this method. It's very easy to start. It does not require any extra equipment, just the phone in your hand and the app. It can be very affordable. All you have to do is pay for the app and some storage space. So it works well if you have smaller batches of photos. It's a great option, as I said, if you have limited access to photos, such as if you're traveling and you cannot take the media with you. I will give you a little bit of a story on that. I had a client a few years ago who I was helping with a variety of things. She was going to visit her aunt out at essentially a cabin in the woods, hard to get to, not a lot around. So she went out there and the aunt had probably a dozen big family photo albums out in a barn. It's like a storage shed. She wouldn't let my client take the albums with her, nor could my client. They're 12 big albums. She couldn't take them on the plane. She didn't want to ship them, didn't didn't want to pay for shipping, was worried they would get lost. So I had suggested to her that you use an app, Get Photo Mine, and that at least will give you something until you can come up with something else. So she did that while she was out there. She scanned all dozen or so of the albums. She reached out to me about a month after she came back, and that storage shed, the barn, not sure what it was, had burned down, taking all of the albums with it. She felt so lucky that she had gotten a digital version of all of those photos. If she hadn't used that app, she would have nothing. But while these apps are very easy to use and have all of the pros that I just mentioned, they are not going to give you the best quality of your photos. It is also a little bit harder than you may think to take the good photo. Going back to what I started with, if you've ever taken a photo of a photo with your phone and really looked at it, it may be askew, it may not be flat, you may have funny shadows, and it may be kind of crooked because you can't hold the phone exactly right where it needs to be. You can purchase some things to help with that, a stand, some lighting kits, which will get you part of the way there. But if you're going to start to do that, then you may just want to move on to one of the other options that I'm going to discuss. It also isn't great for some very old photos or photos that are scratched or damaged or have any silvering on them, because it is not going to give you a high enough quality scan to be able to digitally fix those. So just keep those things in mind while you consider this option along with the other options that I'm going to discuss. The second option that I have for you are send away scanning services. There are a variety of them out there. You will see them advertised where essentially you ship your photos to a big box operation and have them digitize the photos for you. People will often choose this option if they have a lot of photos and a limited amount of time. You sign up on the website. You decide the volume, or you choose the type of box, or you tell them how much stuff you have. They will send you a box with directions on how to pack it and keep the photos from getting ruined in the shipping. You'll send it back, and then they will digitize them and let you know when they're done. They will often have a download link, or sometimes you can order a thumb drive, or they may have their own photo organizing software that they will place the photos in. The pricing of these different companies varies widely, and they're almost always on sale, so check for that. But if you're going to use a service like this, make sure you know what you are paying for. The quality varies widely. So make sure that you are reading reviews and, again, knowing what it is that you are paying for. You will sometimes have the option of getting a higher quality scan. You will, of course, pay for that, but it will be worth it every single time because you need a higher quality scan for archivally preserving these digital files. Why might you choose this option, sending away to a scanning service, a big box operation? It can save hands-on time. You essentially dump the stuff in a box, send it off, and that's it on your end. It can handle large volumes of photos. It can handle slides and negatives as well. You don't need to buy any equipment. However, of course, there are cons to this approach. And one of the big ones that I hear a lot from clients is you are shipping irreplaceable photos, your memories, to someone you do not know, who has no personal interest in making sure that they do a good job. It's essentially a factory. There's also things to consider is garbage in, garbage out. So if you just throw all your photos into a box, that's what you're going to get back digitally. They're going to come back usually as image 1, image 2, image 3. And imagine if you have 5,000 photos, you are going to have 5,000 image 1. It'll be image 1 through 5,000. And so there's no way of knowing really what they are. Some of the services do allow you to do some organization first, put them in a Ziploc with a note saying what it is, and they may or may not keep them that way. Again, do your homework. You will often pay additionally for that organization, or if you ask them to name the files a certain way, you will often pay for that. I have had several clients where they have asked me to redo the scans, either because the quality was just not where they wanted it to be, or because it was so disorganized, it was literally easier to bring them to me so that they could be organized first and scanned second, so that they actually knew what they were getting back and it was coming back in an organized fashion. You will also likely need to fix the names and the dates of the photos when they come back. And there will very rarely be help from these digitizing services on what you should do when you get them back. How do you back them up? How do you incorporate them into your current photo library? Questions like that. So this option can be very, very efficient. It can be inexpensive, but it's much more hands-off and impersonal, which can make a big difference when you're dealing with your precious memories, things that can't be replaced. Your third option to consider is to purchase a scanner and to do it yourself. Like with option one, using the app, you will have full control over your photos. They stay with you in your house. You're not shipping them. No one else is touching them. And you can give them the care that they deserve. If you have a lot of standard size prints, think 4x6, 3x5, a scanner such as the Epson FastFoto might work well. It's a batch scanner where you can feed 50 or so photos at once. You can tell it what to name the photos. You can tell it what to date the photos, and it will keep things relatively orderly, assuming that you have order before you actually start scanning. If you have slides and negatives, you would need a different scanner, generally a much slower flatbed scanner, but those can do a decent job. If you have a lot of photos, more than 1,000, this can save you money because, again, you're doing it yourself. So you just have to invest in that initial equipment and you don't need to ship anything to anyone. However, of course, there are cons to doing this yourself. There's two big ones. The first one is it does require equipment and a higher expense right at the beginning. So if you have a smaller collection, maybe less than 1,000, this may not make sense financially, as you'll be spending, several hundred on the scanner itself. You need to know how to use the equipment to get the best results. You need to know what settings to put it on, and you need to know how to keep it clean. And this is extremely important, especially with the batch scanner. If there's some dust on your photos, you will end up with lines on all of the photos that you scan after that, unless you've cleaned it out. The final con to this approach is that it can be very time consuming. As I mentioned with some of the others, it's best if you can do some organizing before you start scanning. Otherwise, disorganization in, disorganization out. And you have to sit there and feed the photos, name the photos, put them in, take them out, clean the equipment. You need to have some space in your house where you can leave this set up for a while in case you can't finish your project all in one go, which very unusually, most of the time, people cannot do that. So it can take a lot of time, and you may get discouraged as you go along because you don't feel like you're making the progress that you would like to be making. Before we move on to the last option, and in my opinion, as a photo organizer, the best one to digitize your photos quickly and easily, I need to talk about some things that people don't expect when they start working to digitize their photos on their own. This can be a very emotional process. Think about what you're looking at, what you're doing. You may be opening a box of photos that you have not seen in 20 years. You open the box, you pull them out, and you see people that may be no longer with you. You see events from very long time ago. And it's hard to fully comprehend how this might make you feel until you start. And it can become overwhelming. You also may run into decision fatigue. When you're looking at your own photos, you are going to need to decide what you're going to keep, what you're not going to keep, and how you are going to put things together. I have worked with many clients who have come to me after trying to get these photos organized and start to digitize on their own because they started by, for example, putting all the photos of people, specific people together. And then they realized partway through that doesn't really work. And then they couldn't decide, well, now what should I do? So often you may start with the best intentions, think this isn't going to take so long, but you quickly realize that you are more likely going to want to look at every photo. You will then think about what that photo, what was happening in that photo, the people you were with, what happened before, what happened after. And the next thing you know, several hours have gone by, you've done nothing, and now you're stressed out about the fact that you've done nothing. So let's talk about the final option, which is hiring and working with a photo manager. A photo manager will guide your entire process from gathering everything together to organizing it and figuring out how it should be organizing it to helping you scan, teaching you how to scan it yourself or scanning it for you. It looks different than DIY scanning because even if you decide to do the scanning yourself, you have somebody there who can answer your questions and it's customized to your specific goals and your comfort level. You can sit down with this person and tell them about your collection, why it's important to you, and make a real connection with your photo manager who will care about your photos almost as much as you do. And sometimes maybe just as much as you do. I'm speaking from experience here. But a photo manager can give you real and actionable advice on what to keep, what to toss, how to access the photos once they're digitized, how to store and share them, what is going to work for your specific situation. And we do this because we want you to succeed. We love helping people preserve their memories. And I feel comfortable saying that on behalf of all of my colleagues who are in this profession. You will know that your photos are handled carefully and intentionally. If you have specific fragile photos, they will be handled with gloves from people who actually know how to do it. And those will most likely not be put through a type of batch scanner, which could rip your photos and destroy them further. So you can be assured that your photos will be treated in the best possible way and kept safe. A photo manager can also help you with the organization, with the backup, with long-term preservation plans to teach you how to keep up with your photos, teach you how to share them, figure out with you where to store them based on what you need to do and what you want to do. Essentially, we're not cookie cutters. We don't treat all of our clients the same. We look at your specific goals and work with you to reach them. For many people, this reduces the overwhelm and helps you actually finish your project. I can say that almost all of my clients, maybe all of them, have told me that the moment they hand things over to me, if I'm doing it for them, or the moment we start coaching and giving them a process, the stress levels decrease immediately and they feel so much better. And this is true no matter who you are working with. If you are working with a certified photo manager, they will reduce your stress level. They will get this done for you. It does have a potentially higher upfront cost than the do-it-yourself options because you are hiring a real person and getting personal one-on-one service. But for many clients, the biggest benefit is the peace of mind and support that they get throughout the process, knowing that you can reach out to your photo manager at any time with questions or concerns, and knowing that you are getting exactly what you want for your collection. So now that I've discussed 4 different options, how do you decide which one is right for you? If you are working with a smaller batch of photos or have limited time to access these photos and are worried that you can't get them anywhere else to do the work, a photo app like PhotoMine might work best for you. If you have a lot of time and energy and you enjoy working on these types of projects, purchasing a scanner and doing it yourself might be best. If you have a large collection and limited time, or you really have no desire to do this yourself, you don't want to, you think it will be horrible, then you may want to send off to a scanning service and have them do it for you. If your photos feel overwhelming, emotional, you're emotional about them, stressful, and especially valuable to you, working with a photo manager might be a good option. In order to figure this out, just rewind and listen to this, watch this recording again as I go through those four options. Now, the second time you watch it, be thinking about your own situation and which one of these options might suit you best. But be reassured that just because you choose one option initially, try it out. If it does not work for you, then move to a different option. There's nothing to say that you have to do everything the exact same way. You need to find what's going to work for your collection, and it may be a combination of these options. There's no wrong choice here. So as you go through and make your decision, I would love to know which option you chose. So if you are comfortable sharing, I would love for you to comment below on this video and let me know. And let me know how it's working out. This whole process can be overwhelming. I know I've done it with my own photos before I became a photo manager, and I watch my clients initially completely overwhelmed, and that's often why they contact me in the first place. You are dealing with your memories, things that cannot be replaced. So take it slow, consider your options, and just start with one small piece at a time. You do not need to dive in, especially if you're doing it yourself, and do everything all at once. You will quickly be overwhelmed. Choose one method that you think is going to work for you and focus on making just some progress. If you find that you've started with one option and you don't like it, or it's not working for you, then come back to this video, watch it again, and pick another one. One of the most important things that I want to leave you with is while you go through this process, especially at the very beginning, think about backup. What are you going to do with these photos once you have them fully digitized? You don't want them to just sit in folders on your computer. You need to make sure that you create a backup plan and that you implement it and that you have your photos in multiple places. And this is extremely important because you don't want to lose all of this hard work. A photo manager can obviously help you with that, or some other videos on this YouTube channel. But make sure you're thinking about that right from the very beginning. Your photos matter and they are worth preserving. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I would love it if you could click the like button and subscribe to the Photo Manager's YouTube channel for weekly guidance on a whole variety of topics. Finally, thank you so much for watching today, for taking time out of your busy schedule to get some information on something that is really, really important, preserving your memories. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you will come back to this channel and watch more videos. And I hope to see you next time.